Welcome, this is Santosh, and today we have Shekhar Kallianpur with us. We are going to be focusing on what the challenges have been for him personally and what he sees as challenges for the rest of us in terms of how the last couple of years and the pandemic has affected us.
Last 2 years have been one of the most challenging period of my life, not only for me but for everyone in the history of man, I can say. 2020, 2021, 2022 has been those years where some of the prophetic fulfillments have begun to happen. Number one, Yeshua said, increase of lawlessness. The domestic violence has gone up by 5,000 times. Antidepressant pills sale has gone up 1,000 times. Sexual immorality through internet consumption has gone 1,000 times. Jesus also said, increase of lawlessness, increase of love waxing cold. In COVID, you can be my bestest friend, but while you're talking to me and having a dinner appointment, you sneeze, I'll tell you not to come. Can you imagine? Your own relatives cannot come. Love waxing cold. You have seen not only that, also I have seen in these 2 years where Paul says to Timothy, in the very last days, the elect will be deceived. So there's increasing of cultic movements, wrong teachings, a falling of men and women of God in character and godliness. And so all this is happening at the same time. I've learned one thing, and I've been always like this, but these 2 years, it came to a great help to me that I've learned to be a self-motivator, depending on God more than ever before. That means I don't need somebody to give me a prophetic word or motivation and encouragement and say, you're doing good. No, a self-motivator. So more time spending with God alone and His Word, that's changed not only me, but people around me. Prayers have become more meaningful. The words of expression, the value of families has grown to another level. Valuing oxygen, which is freely breathe. We had no value for oxygen. But now, when you know the cost of cylinder at 2020, man, thank God for oxygen. So 2020, 2021, 2022 is the beginning of shaking. And in the midst of beginning of shaking, if I or us as a community, if we do not learn to base our life on God and His Word, it's going to be most difficult than ever before. And I believe the only way we can sustain in this challenging time, anybody can swim with the tide. It's easy to swim with the tide, but to swim against the tide, imagine two of us are swimming against the tide. I can't say to you, let's take a selfie. The waves are not going to wait. They're merciless. So the challenges, the perilous moments are increasing. Perilous moments are increase of spiritual demonic activity is on great increase. So you and I today, if we do not learn to base our life depending on God, depending on His Word, being disciplined, the discipleship, sonship, I make a decision. I don't need you to motivate me as a pastor. I don't need a prophet to prophesy to motivate me. I take responsibility for my own action. And I believe that really helped me as an individual, as a father, as a husband, as a pastor. And that is what I've been teaching and sharing as a servant leader, explaining to people so that they don't depend on me, they depend on God. God is the source. You don't have to depend on my prayer. You pray. You don't need me to motivate. God is the motivator. So 2 John 2:27 says, and the Holy Spirit Himself will teach you everything. And I believe that's the key learning for me in these 2 years. of depending on God, that He is the author and the perfecter. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the beginning and the end. And I believe this has to be a trend for every one of us, irrespective of Corona, irrespective of post-pandemic. We are in a season of perilous moments. So I believe that's the key for learning for me and for us.